Good evening, my beautiful crime family. Sorry for the long intro, but I thought I'd play that song. It's off my last The Crow album that went international. That was the number one song over in Europe, played on the radio over there, and especially in France and Russia. And so I thought I'd play that album. That was myself on vocals and all the guitars. Kirk Chrisman on bass and Laddie Boston Boyo on the drums. And Kirk Chrisman and I mastered it at Bootleg Studios. Anyway, Friday night. Yeah. So, gonna get into some different stuff here. Or the same but different. Going to get into some Jack's Alibi here a little bit later in the show, I think, or not too long. Going to get into some other things and might bring up some people on panel, might not. I'm not. This will probably go an hour and a half or something like that. So, I'm a little bit tired. I had company all day yesterday and all night last night. So, but let's say hi to the crime family. Moonflower Laza, my girl, good to see you. Elizabeth, good to see you. Cryptic Conversions, good to see you. Liz Tepling, good to see you. Meanie, good to see you. Mrs. Johnny Knapp, good to see you. Dana Puffin stuff, good to see you. Cindy Abbott, good to see you. Angela, good to see you. Joey, my brother, good to see you. Kim Barney, good to see you. And Lila, good to see you. And Woke Up 1984, good to see you. Crime Spy, good to see you. Here we go. Debbie Gazzardo, good to see you. My girl Terry Martin, good to see you. Jackie Bushable, good to see you. And all you chatters up there. There's a lot of chats to go through up there. So they've been chatting, it looks like, for a while. Anyway, so I've been going through some videos, and you know what? If I showed this gal's video before, it's been a long time ago, and she's one of my favorites. I was into her way before I started a channel, and way before Kohlberger and all that stuff. I mean, like years ago, and she's really good. And I ran across this, and I thought, man, and I didn't get to watch the whole thing yet. Again, I just got into it before I got on here, so that's why I'm going to be doing like Jack after this. But there's just some really interesting stuff on here, because this was taken. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. I'm just going to play it. And if anybody knows Sweetie Pilo, that's one of my favorites. Had it for a long time.
I hope everybody's doing really well, that you had a great Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it was that you celebrated. Hope it was wonderful. So there are some posts from 44 or 45 days ago now, and they are worthy of looking at because they're rather interesting. First, I'm going to read to you what Enon Harsh said 44 days ago. I just screenshotted this today, so I'm going to share. By the way, his name on Reddit at the time was iData When You Sleep. I don't know exactly what that means, but maybe it's important.
That's kind of weird right there. Right off the bat, it's kind of weird. I remember this is like
His
check it
name
out.
on Reddit at the time was I Data When You Sleep. I don't know
I doubt
exactly
it.
what that means, but maybe it's important. Kind of creeped me out a little bit, just the nature of how these students were slayed. It says, saw, I think, BMW-ish luxury style SUV car with out-of-state plates. Looks semi-familiar, so I think it's a close state like Montana or Utah, I think. Tinted windows around 1:30 a.m. Saturday night on corner of Queen and Ann. Noticed that spot was empty on Sunday and replaced by cop cars on Sunday. Seems sus now as someone who lives there. Excuse me, as someone who lives here, the non-resident cars usually stand out to me, but I was tired. So then people say, like, did you notify the police? Now, is that true, or is that just some fuel for the fire? That was 44 days ago. That was before anybody knew who Enon Harsh was. And this is as the story was developing, that there was actually a murder, that it was three.
Now, this was put out, this is over a year ago. What is the date on this? This is December 30th of 2022. And what she just read was from 44 days before that, before December 30th of 2022. So this is like shortly after it happened. Whoops.
Was three females and a guy. The details as they were breaking, okay? Somebody says, Moscow police said they're investigating the deaths as homicides, but did not provide any other information about what happened. As of midday Monday, no suspect was in custody. Anyone with information about the case has been asked to contact police. Then another person replied, went to school here for undergrad, lived directly adjacent to the house this happened in. Area it occurred was a popular party out of house spot where Greek pop lived. Greek rogue, sororities, fraternities, that's what that means. Some mutual friends have a brother there still who said the victims were stabbed. This part hasn't reached the news yet. It's ghastly. Motive is unclear. This town and community have had a disproportionate number of tragedies and violent crimes occur in the last decade.
Check that out. And this is somebody admitting to this. I mean, we brought this out. You've seen the videos that Karen and I did all about all the craziness, the deaths and stuff like that with weird deaths. And this town and community have had a disproportionate number of tragedies and violent crimes occur in the last decade. See, somebody else is admitting to this way, like way at the beginning, before anybody knew anything.
And then it says, so somebody replies and says, what's the story with the person who called? Why were they unconscious? I'm surprised more people aren't addressing that. My screenshots from yesterday that said 44 days ago. So now 45 days ago. So this is when the story was so new, they didn't even know that anybody had been stabbed. But interestingly enough, this person here, Joe Mama Llama, says that they heard from a good
Joe Mama Llama. Joe Mama Llama. Who do you think that could be, I wonder? Joe Llama Mama. From that area. From that area. Here, listen to this again. Or look at it again.
Was so new, they didn't even know that anybody had been stabbed. But interestingly enough, this person here, Joe Mama Llama, says that they heard from a good source that there was stabbings that occurred. But again, at this time, no.
From a good source, Joe Llama Mama. Exactly, Kip. Dana. Yeah. Great minds think alike. Great minds think alike. Yepper. Let's keep her going.
Nobody knew that these were stabbings that had gone down in this home. They knew people were dead. Some people even knew that it was 3 guys and a girl, but not really. I mean, it was just breaking. So next thing, I'm hearing it was a random dude dressed in black. There's 2 other survivors, which hasn't been mentioned in any of what I've seen in the news. I have a lot of friends still there now. So this also 45 days ago, because again, I screenshotted this yesterday. Then it says the 2 other roommates have seriously been in my thoughts all day, just the trauma of surviving regardless if they were home. And then 42 days ago, which is now 43. Wow, do you have any more info? So this was somebody replying in a post that said the survivor thing turned out to be true. So I'm guessing the all black will be true also. I was reading other comments from locals when news broke saying the same, and that one of the surviving roommates saw the killer. I've heard that too, but I didn't think that was true. But I've also heard that a neighbor saw the killer. None of this confirmed, just to be clear. None of this is confirmed, but very interesting if it's true. The 3 girls were students and the 1 guy was not.
That we do need to talk about that, because what if a neighbor did see? Maybe they have. We don't know what they're holding. We don't know what they're holding, and yeah, we just don't know. We don't know. Brian could have done it. I doubt it highly, but we don't know what they have. We do not know what they have.
Guessing drug deal gone bad since they reported no type of violence or ongoing threat. And it says he was in fact a student, learned to read. People are so rude to each other online. It gets so old.
The thing is, I like going by like when things first happen, because it seems to me that it usually turns out that the stuff that you first hear is usually true and right. You know, when you do you agree with that? I that's what I think anyway.
Very beginning, this case was reported as a crime of passion. Then it was reported as a robbery gone wrong. And then somehow it developed into whatever we're calling it now, homicide, right? Just general homicide. I don't think it has a label other than that. But it's interesting to note that in the very beginning, the law enforcement must have thought this was
crime of passion,
whether it was unrequited love or a stalker or something strange. They thought it was in that category. So it will be interesting to see if Jack D ends up being the guy here. For some reason, I'm not convinced fully that it's him. And I don't know if it's just that I don't think he's capable of committing this kind of an act, because God knows Ted Bundy didn't look, in some pictures, capable of pulling off the things he did. So I would be interested to know how their relationship, how Kaylee's and Jack's relationship was privately. You know, was he ever abusive, possessive, dominating? You know, what was his personality like in private? That would tell us a lot that we're interested in knowing, I think.
And I do believe her mind is on the right track. I do believe her mind is on the right track right there. Not sure where she goes here because I haven't watched this whole thing.
all the clues we've seen so far, like the new footage of the corner club with Adam Lauda and Jack Showalter, like this footage, this surveillance footage that's coming out, it really would indicate one of these guys must be the killer. But I still don't altogether think that's the case. And I'll probably end up being wrong. It's probably going to be one of these guys, and I'll be eating my crow, right? But that the guy or guys or group that did this are capable of such evil that to go into somebody's home while they're sleeping and take the lives of 4 innocent people who probably did nothing to this person. That's depravity our minds cannot begin to understand or comprehend. So it's something to remember here. We're not talking about just a normal person. This is a sick puppy.
Yeah.
There's some Twitter posts. This guy, I actually posted this the other day. His name is Gerard Corsi. He's on Twitter. He's been acting as a source on Twitter. Some of it could absolutely be true, but we won't know for a long time. Back during the Gabby Petito case, about 3 days before Gabby was found in the wilderness, Brian Laundrie, if you don't know that story, whoa, okay, it's crazy. But long story short, Gabby Petito was found within 3 days of this post that Gerard Corsi made about that case. And the post, he basically said Gabby was going to be found within the next few days. And he also said that Brian Laundrie had ended his life and that he had left a note behind. Keep in mind, this is 3 days before Gabby's body's found in the wilderness. And this is a month and 3 days before Brian is then found in the Myakkahatchee Reserve in Florida, where he actually was found unalived, as they call it, and a note, which is exactly what Gerard Corsi said. I hate to give this guy any credibility because he is super arrogant, okay? But I want to tell you what he's been saying because it could be important. And I like to share with you guys what I find that I think could have some relevance here. Investigation into the Idaho student murders has reached the point of critical mass being achieved through the prime person of interest. But because of initial LE missteps and local LE's failure to timely pursue certain key evidence, there is strong doubt about having a winnable case. Like I said,
Okay, remember this, guys. This is December of 2022. This is December of 2022. Listen to that again.
And local LE's failure to timely pursue certain key evidence, there is strong doubt about having a winnable case. Like I said,
let's go back. Oh, there we go.
Could be important. And I like to share with you guys what I find that I think could have some relevance here. Investigation into the Idaho student murders has reached the point of critical mass being achieved through the prime person of interest. But because of initial LE missteps and local LE's failure to timely pursue certain key evidence, there is strong doubt about having a winnable case. Like I said, I don't know where he gets this crap from. But then he says, so subsequent to that post, he then says this: the Idaho student murders case now has all the pieces in place. The chain of causality, personal connectivity, and motive is now complete thanks to several hardworking people who want justice for the victims just as I do. Look for actions to be taken after the new year. So on Monday, this was a few days ago, he says investigators today are concentrating on the highly unusual type of mutilation of one of the victims and the possible reasons why this person was singled out for such exceptional post-mortem brutality. Again, goes to motive and identity. I don't know who he's talking about here, but I suspect
It goes to motive and identity. Goes to motive and identity. Who would have the most motive? And who's having problems with the identity? I'm not. I'm not having a problem, but Ellie sure seems to be, and Mr. Bill Thompson sure seems to be having a problem with the identity.
It could be Kaylee if it is true. Here's some more. Source in Moscow, Idaho, telling me that new evidence was found today, namely some trace DNA discovered in the bathroom where the killer may have washed off the blood from the arterial spurting as he went methodically killing the four. Then he says, lengthy time of splashing water sounds made it stand out for her. Not that there was activity in the bathroom at the time, but that it was so consistently intense, according to my mom.
Oh, man. Okay, I don't know if you've heard the rumors lately. That Zana and Ethan were taken out in the bathroom. I don't know if you've heard that or not, but I've heard that just recently.
Moscow ID source. This fits with the perp washing off the worst of the arterial blood spray. It kind of seems at times like he knows something. He also gets a lot of backlash for saying the things he says. And it's hard not to want to sock him in his jaw from time to time because he does say some outrageous things. And if they end up being right, like they were with the Brian Laundrie thing, then it'll be very interesting. I'd like to know who his source is. You know, if he really does have a source, we'll never know anyway. Last thing I want to get into is the newest on David Barachoa. Remember, I talked about him in my last live stream. There was this 4chan post that was released probably about 2 weeks ago, alleging that David B and David L had conspired together, possibly with a person, Bridget, who happens to be friends with Dylan, the roommate.
David actually reached out to me. David, that we were just talking about, reached out. Really? Yes, he reached out to me. He messaged me, and he said, "I'd appreciate it if you stopped giving a platform to those who wish to perpetuate this lie. This has zero validity to this. We aren't gay lovers. We are good friends, have been for years. No, I don't drive an Elantra, and no one in my family does."
Beautiful. Beautiful.
There's a part of the post that I think is super important that I don't believe I went over that day. The writer of that 4chan post about the two Davids being involved, in the second part of that post, they wrote that over Thanksgiving weekend, all the weapons used in this attack on those students, that all of that was put in Garden City, Idaho. If you look at where Garden City, Idaho is, it's actually a suburb of Boise. Would not be too far off that might be true. One of my subscribers, she knows who she is.
Here this post says, flowers, leaves, and butterflies. Here is a sight to soothe your eyes. A mini forest outside your home. You might even find a gnome. One of my other subscribers, he knows who he is. He solved this, and the answer to that riddle was garden. Now, look at the date. That was Sunday, the 20th of November, 2022. That was over a month ago. And the clue was garden. Why was somebody dropping the clue of garden over a month ago? This is before we ever even heard about Garden City from the most recent post about the two Davids and the plot. I also wonder if the answer to this riddle could mean garden pertaining to the Arboretum Botanical Garden that's right outside of the college there.
David Loach, before he deleted his TikTok account, his TikTok name was David loves, LOFS, T, which is just T, and then kill, KILL. And he posted a video under that TikTok name where he's like talking about being an adult and how hard it is to be an adult. And he's driving down.
So his name on TikTok was David Love to Kill. How's that? David Love to Kill. Isn't that funny?
Down a street late at night. This is before there was any snow on the ground in Idaho or anything. It's creepy that he would ever have a screen name like that for his TikTok. That's not an ordinary, name. Am I going to have a screen name Lauren Loves to Kill? No, like that's not what you put as your screen name unless you probably really have a fixation with it. Now, I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying that's not a normal name, is it? David L.
Back in 2017, he weighed 195 pounds.
and was 6'1". Remember, it was said in that original 4chan post that was alleging that the two Davids pulled this off, there was discussion about this being related to steroids. And I could 100% imagine somebody on steroids, they've got that roid raging thing going on. There's no limit, in my opinion, to what they could do to somebody if they're just steaming, fiery pissed. It seems possible that a lot of destruction could occur if a person's on steroids and mad. I will leave it there. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Take care.
Okay, so this is Sweetie Pilo. Right here. See how you spell it there. It's Sweetie, then Pie, and then Low. Sweetie Pilo. For the ones that don't know her, I've been watching her for a long time. And this is a really good video because this goes back to December of 2022. And, there's no, what do you call, like, anything in her mind from what other people's opinions are or anything like that. I mean, her mind is pretty fresh and clean at looking at all of this. And it shows how old some of these things are. And just a really good video. Yeah. Sweetie Pilo. Okay, so yeah, it was really good work, Elizabeth. That was excellent work. And next I'm going to show you which one is this now? Who is this? Maybe I should go to the first one. I think. Let's see, is it this one? I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay. So we're going from Sweetie Pilo. Hold on here. Okay. Sweetie Pilo to true crime design. And let's start looking into Jack D a little bit more. Sweetie talked about him a little bit. And here we go. What Maddie told Adam theory. And she posted this a year ago. And she does really good work. This got 181,000 views. So she does really good work. If you don't know who True Crime Design is, check her page out. And here we go.
Jack D, who lives so close, not call the family when the niece had already called. Good point.
I don't know. That's my. I've asked that from that's like, why didn't you call 911? Jack D has been dating this young woman since they were in middle school, and you're telling me his first call isn't to Steve?
As close to the family as he was too. That was an issue for me.
And he knew about it. I mean, early on when he went to get the dog. So unless they had him in a holding cell, he still gets a phone call. You call your mom and you say, call Kaylee's parents. You call the mom. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You have a cell phone in your hand. The minute it happens, who do you call?
Why didn't he?
Right?
Good point. Very good
Why
point.
didn't he call them? My daughter dated a boy through college, and I know, and I know one of my boys, anybody out there, ask yourself, wouldn't the first call be to your girlfriend's parents if you know it's just occurred, or if you know she's in any kind of harm? Even if you don't know she's gone, but if you know something went down in that house, I mean, he called and got the dog. The Humane Society said he called, they told me that. So he called about the dog, yet he did not call Kaylee's family? Why?
Yeah, that's kind of whack if you ask me. I'm sorry.
I have a really hard time with understanding that. And here's the other thing. The worst thing on the planet is for them to lose both of those kids. Because not only do they lose Maddie and Kaylee, then they lose Jack too, because Jack somehow, I mean, that is just, right? So, and maybe he's innocent. Maybe he has an explanation. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know. Why did you call the parents?
Gonzalez's sister, Olivia, said that her sister's phone records show that she called a man named Jack Ducour several times on the night she was murdered. The call log has 6 calls between 2:26 a.m. and 2:44 a.m. to Ducour. Madison Mogan also called the same person 3 times between 2:44 a.m. and 2:52 a.m. The last call to the man on Gonzalez's phone was logged at 2:52 a.m.
One of the victim's ex-boyfriends named Jack has found himself under the microscope, but the victim.
In my last video, when we talked about the happening in the street at right around 3 a.m. Right around 3 a.m. And you think, and I tried to say, look what was all going on. Look what was all going on at 3 a.m. All the way from the Banfield to the disturbance call at Sigma Chi, to the 4 people running by, and the phone calls just ending to Jack Ducour. The phone calls just ending to Jack Ducour. A phone call comes in from Sigma Chi saying there was a disturbance at Sigma Chi. Banfield has those people pulled over, those kids, writing them a ticket, which they didn't even test if they were drunk or not, writing them a ticket and taking a bunch of time, and those 4 people running by. I mean, there was so much going on at that hour. At that hour.
Victim's family says he has absolutely nothing to do with the gruesome slayings.
The family of slain college student Kaylee Consalvis is coming to the defense of her ex-boyfriend. Kaylee recently broke up with Jack Ducour after dating him for 5 years. Her father, brother, and sister were asked about the relationship today on CNN.
He is not listed, notably, as someone who has been cleared in the investigation. To your knowledge, is that significant?
No, I don't personally think so, because I think that there's the entire rest of the world that's also not on that list of people who have been cleared.
Right.
We're also aware of a male whom Madison and Kaylee had called several times the morning of November 13th, and we do not suspect that individual.
I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may not, maybe he shouldn't have been. And yeah,
She had the strong alibi.
just really fast.
If you can
like,
dismiss,
an hour later, and we're like, what? And I don't know. I don't know anything about those individuals. I just know they were people that, definitely should have been looked at. And yeah.
I don't know what would prevent you from sharing somebody's alibi.
Just so I understand this correctly, your daughter is stating that the night of the incident, that her friend that had this information that told her about this, and her friend's boyfriend who attends the University of Idaho, claimed to have stayed at your daughter's house.
Correct.
But you were there and you didn't see them.
And I didn't see him, and that did not set well. So what my understanding was that my daughter's sorority sister was at the house at some point, but the boyfriend was not at the house, which I learned after pulling it out of her teeth. And that two of the kids involved who were looked at closely he was their ally. And he went to fast food, and then he went to their house, said they played video games all night. Then he left it, he said 7:30 or 8, and then went back and got his girlfriend from Pullman. And so I think that 7:30 to 8:30 time frame, that's, and she went back there. She left with him, is my understanding, was what I was told. I think the sorority sister might have stayed at my daughter's house or not, but knew at 8:30, and there was a narrative discovered and built, and so I called the FBI back, because I called them all the time, and they said, we've discovered several lies in the alibis. And that's what their exact words to me were. They've discovered several lies in the alibis. So I believe that they believe whatever has been told, because the defense's investigator has called me and asked for confirmation, and I'll confirm with anybody. I don't know what he did, if he did or not. I'm not saying I don't know. I do not know. Just want the right person to go down for it, because these kids go back to school in 3 weeks. So that's all I can tell you at this point about the alibi, is that the alibi, according to what I knew as their alibi, does not wash.
When they're each other's alibi and they're both suspects. That's a little much for me. I don't know about you, But it sounds like a couple of high school kids trying to get out of something. Isn't that what it sounds like to you? That's what it sounds like to me.
When that tape came out about Adam, I told Adam everything. My question, of course, was then to the kids, what did she tell Adam? And then somehow, and I do know it was about drugs, and it was about
Exactly, Wakanyan. Exactly. And I think the FBI is still looking at them. I don't, but you know, Chief Fry had said it's their investigation. I still think there was a rift between the FBI and law enforcement. I don't think the FBI thinks that Brian Kohlberger is guilty. I really don't think that. I think they know better. And I think LE jumped real quick, and what their motivations are for that, your guess is as good as mine. Some say corruption, some say ineptitude, just being stupid and naive. But yeah, you start thinking, about this alibi. It just, nothing makes sense with this guy. Nothing makes sense with this guy to me. And then Adam, after, they're going to get you for this, Maddie. He wouldn't say that. They must have been talking about Adam. I would like to know what they all said in between the grub truck. I'd like to hear more what they said from that corner, to the grub truck. And it's too bad there isn't a cam with a microphone there, because I would really like to know what was said before that was said.
Involved with throwing drugs away. I know that the students knew they were going to be shaken down. That I know, for the drugs being missing or the money being missing. I know that. The kids all know that, but they didn't expect them to be killed. I don't think anybody expected them to be killed.
So I told Adam everything. I think it has to do with they threw away drugs. I mean, Maddie was done with it and threw away whatever it was that needed to be thrown away. I don't know what it was, but I believe it was thrown away in a garbage can next door. And I think the girls were waiting until they were both done to report to the police, or maybe what they had learned.
Yeah.
And I think she maybe told Adam that, not realizing Adam would tell
somebody else, which Adam and Jack were roommates, folks. So understand that there's a very great possibility that's what was passed along in that sense. So
that's my understanding of what occurred.
Right, and that this is all very speculative theory, folks. Don't take any of this.
And the FBI has that.
And that's I can recognize that that's Dago talking with them, of course. And again, let me see, how long ago was this? Did she put this out? A year ago. She put this out July of 23.
And so does the defense. I've told the defense called me when they called me. They asked me questions about that, and I told the FBI that immediately too.
Right, and also in that same walk conversation that was recorded, Jack Showalter says something to Maddie that nobody can clearly verify what it was.
I think he was warning. He said, "You better be careful, Maddie. They're gonna get you."
Of course, it's been all cleaned up since then, and we know what they're saying now.
It's a good point.
Unless it was a purposeful leak. Maybe somebody leaked it on purpose.
On purpose
I
to
don't
make
know.
a point. Yeah. That and
Or
I
to
don't.
get information out of people.
That's
I
another
don't know.
point. Yeah. I don't. Like I said, nothing's off the table.
I don't think Jack Decor hurt anybody. I don't think he hurt his. I think he loved Kaylee. I think that all of these children likely could have stopped it from happening by saying something to somebody, their parents. I think they were all sucked into something that was way bigger than them. That's what I think. If I think any of these kids are guilty, that's what I think. They're guilty of being naive.
We're tired of all these type of crimes. We're tired of all this stuff. And we can rally around these terrible tragedies, and we're hoping that as a society we come back stronger and we decide to not let this be accepted anymore. You know, that's what I hope for.
You're all in danger until you decide to say what you know. It doesn't matter. Facing this now is eventually it will come out. Face it now together as a group before somebody else dies. Before you're going to more funerals.
Very well done. Very well done. Again, that's my true crime design. That was very well put together. Yeah, you know, you got to think about this stuff because, and we all might be fooled. We don't know. We really don't know. It's something that we all have to think about, and we all have our own opinions on. And is there, you know, was crime of passion? And that's what it seems like to me. I really haven't changed my mind on that. It was a crime of passion. Let me see what else I got for you. Okay, who is this? I think this is a short one. Okay, but I think this is pretty interesting too. This was put out. Wow, this was put out December 29th of 2022, and it's by Evil Exists. I'll share that screen. If I remember right, it's a short one. Yeah, this is a very short one, but it's interesting.
I saw this screenshot this morning on Facebook, and it got me thinking. The calls from Kaylee and Maddie's phone to Jack D has always been on my mind since I heard about it. A lot of you commented that it could be drunk dialing, etc. However, I just can't seem to think that's what it was, especially if that was Jack at the corner club with them.
Let's see what this says here. The 10 calls from Kaylee to Jack D using her own phone and Maddie's indicated urgency or something important to discuss no longer make sense to me as random drunk dials. Now that we know Jack and Kaylee were talking face to face less than an hour prior, what new info or subject matter popped up in that hour to require multiple phone calls from multiple phones to somebody you were just speaking with? And here's another thing. What was it I thought of today? I thought of something. Oh, yeah, that's coming. I do believe that's coming up yet. that's coming up yet. But anyway, here, let me play this.
Since I heard about it, a lot of you commented that it could be drunk dialing, etc. However, I just can't seem to think that's what it was, especially if that was Jack at the corner club with them. They saw him face to face, so why call him later on unless it was for something urgent? Here are 2 other theories that I'm going to share regarding the reasons for the calls, and you can share your thoughts below, as to whether you agree or not. Firstly, could it be possible that something happened between the girls and Jack at the corner club, after Maddie allegedly told Adam something? It could have caused Jack to become very upset. Makes me think they called him to explain themselves. Maybe they thought he wouldn't answer a call from Kaylee's phone, so they tried calling from Maddie's phone. They wanted to explain themselves, and de-escalate the situation. This theory crossed my mind many times after hearing Kaylee asked in a concerned voice what Maddie told Adam. The second theory that I saw floating around is that Kaylee and Maddie went to bed, and saw someone who looked like Jack around the house. Maybe through the window or something. They then got wary, and called him to make sure it was just him, and no one else lurking around there. Kaylee could have been worried because she had a stalker. Maybe she felt someone was lurking around the house, or even heard a noise and called Jack to see if it was him. I still believe those calls may hold some answers, especially since it was so close to when the killings happened. Drop your thoughts down below.
Okay, so that was Evil Exists. I'm trying to find the one that because I thought of something. Of course I did, eh? Let's see, who is this one? I do believe this is the one. Okay, this is Miss Bubbly Waters. You know what's in bubbly? And this was put out 6 months ago.
Yeah. So we were talking earlier about Murphy. Let's talk about Murphy and how special he is. And he still has an Instagram page going that people really love. Do you get to see Murphy? I think people would be
He's a lot
interested.
cooler than us. We're Facebookers. He's
Instagram.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yes, Murphy is Murphy Gonsalves on Instagram, and Jack runs that page for him. And they do all kinds of things. Jack,
camping.
they go. Jack is very outdoorsy. There's pictures on there with Jack and Murphy paddleboarding. You know, camping. Murphy's Jack's. I would have to say one of his best friends.
Comes over here.
We haven't seen Murphy for a while, but we do see Jack. But he usually does bring Murphy. But last time he was just kind of passing by working, so he didn't have Murphy with him then. But said that Murphy's doing great, and his family loves Murph. And I have an Instagram account now just so I could follow Murphy because
It's the first dog for their family.
Yes.
We've always had dogs.
Yes.
And Jack always had to put up with the dogs from Kaylee.
Yeah.
And then it kind of went full circles. They got a dog together, and then he became a dog person.
He's a dog dad.
Yes, he's a dog dad. Yep.
Yes.
And it's probably the perfect
Matter of
medicine
fact,
for him.
some of their last texts together were, Jack, we share a dog.
You need to talk to
You
me.
need to answer my text message. We share a dog, literally, you know.
They had joint custody.
Yes, and Jack would come over because they were a little broken up at the time, you know, and Jack would come over and pick up Murphy and take Murphy to the park and then take him home to
Take
games.
turns.
Yeah, it was really cute. I was like, you guys are so funny with Murphy. But
You went with them to go.
yes, we went to Salmon, Idaho.
For like a,
When they bought Murphy, and they were picking out, and they're like, "Which one?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm just
what was it,
sitting in
like
the car."
7,000 feet, the altitude up there?
Oh, it was crazy when we were going over.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I got really, really high, and there was snow, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
Put
you
him in the
guys."
back car, and they were like, something smells really bad.
Oh, he was so stinky. He was
Poor
so
little guy.
stinky.
Oh, he's such a cute dog. He's your grand dog.
Yes, he's our grand dog.
Yeah. So I
Okay, so that wasn't the one I was actually looking for. Maybe it's that last one. I'm not sure. Okay, this is from Harry XM. And I don't think I've seen this one before today. Doesn't have many views. I'm going to subscribe to him now.
Murders. I've been seeing this on the news for about a month now, and recently,
So this is old too. This is.
They think the most possible person
Around
that
December.
did it was the ex-boyfriend of one of the girls that died that night, Jack Dokover. I personally think it might be him, just because they had been dating for 5 years and they had recently broken up three weeks before. And like, people take breakups really hard. Like 5 years is a long time. And if this guy thought he was going to marry her and then recently they just got separated, and that would be a big motive for him to go and.
Why is it such a hard thing for people to understand that? Why is it such a hard thing for people to understand that? You know what I mean? They were together 5 years. They were talking about marriage. And she breaks up with him. 3 weeks later, she's been murdered, and in a very horrible way. What's so hard for people to understand? What's going on here?
Kill her. Like, guys are crazy like that. Like, you just get mad and then you just get angry and then you just act. And he probably, possibly, allegedly killed his girlfriend. So 5 years is a long time. I personally think he might have done it allegedly, because I mean, 3 weeks before and then 3 weeks later, and then she just comes up dead. And his only alibi is that he was 5 hours away at his parents' cabin and sleeping. Which, I mean, yeah, he could have been sleeping at 3 a.m. whenever the murders took place, but nobody saw him. His house was full of roommates, of friends. They were all playing games and he was just the only one sleeping. That's kind of suspicious, because I mean, on a Saturday night, and if you have your friends over at your parents' house, why would you be asleep while everybody else is up in your house and you're the only one sleeping? That's kind of suspicious too. Also, since they were boyfriend and girlfriend for 5 years, none of the 3 girls were sexually assaulted. So, I mean, if it was a guy that was over here, like the stalker or anybody else, right? The stalker or the food truck guy, he would have probably sexually assaulted them. If you're a stalker, that's what you want to go do, right? You're in love with them, you're infatuated with them, and so you would kill them and then sexually assault them, possibly. And if it was anybody else, you would want to, if it was a guy killing them, there would most likely, I think 90% of the time, the killers sexually assault the people. This was just random. So that's another good.
Unless they knew them.
Reason that I think Jack would have done it, because, I mean, he wouldn't sexually assault them because he was mad that he broke up with her and he already had her for 5 years. They already knew, and they're probably already had done lots of things. So he was not curious or interested in sexually assaulting her. He just wanted to murder her out of anger, allegedly. And also, I read some places that they called him, or they were calling him multiple times around the times that the murders happened. So maybe he was in the house or in the area, or somebody saw him around town. But like, that's really mysterious that there was calls for him or from him. I feel like if he killed her first, and like they were roommates and they were sleeping in the same bed, so he had to kill the other one, his her best friend of 6 years, or since 6th grade. So he had to kill her, right? Because obviously she had to hear or see something, the knife. And so probably he killed the other two because they were in the same, like, maybe one of them heard and they came to help, and then he had to kill them too. But like, since obviously they were dating for a long time, he knew the house, he knew the layout of the house, he knew how to get in. Maybe he was waiting for them in the room. He was probably waiting in the room. When they got home, they went to sleep, and then he attacked. He stabbed his ex-girlfriend out of anger that maybe she moved on. Maybe he was really upset that he left her. Because, I mean, she's a beautiful girl, and he's not that great looking. Kind of looks odd. So he was probably really upset that he left her, that she left him. And then he started to attack her, then killed her. Then obviously the roommate that was sleeping next to her heard or tried to help stop him from attacking her. And then, so he obviously had to kill her. And then like down the hall, they heard, and then they,
you know, they think that maybe Maddie was the first and Kaylee the second. I disagree with that. I think it was Kaylee. If it was done in the house, Kaylee was first, and then Maddie second. That's what because Kaylee was more up. She was more. She wasn't as drunk as what Maddie was, and that's my reasoning behind that. Another thing is, there wasn't just calls. There was texts. And there was a text saying, we have a dog together. Do you remember that? We have a dog together, is what Kaylee was saying to Jack. And my thinking there, it was on one of those videos. My thinking there is I thought Murphy was supposed to be there. Why would she be saying we have a dog together and blah, 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 and trying to get a hold of him? Maybe was it because he took off with Murphy? Was that him there at when they got home in the black truck? And did he take off with Murphy? You know, there's so many questions that I have on any of this stuff. And I think a lot of people do. A lot of people have questions on Jack DeCour and all that. And I'm not saying I'm not going to say he did it or anything like that. That's it. It's my opinion. This is all my opinion and speculation, of course. Everybody knows that. Yeah. We'll take a look at what some people are saying here. And yeah. And I think probably that's going to do it for a Friday night. I just wanted to go over some of this alibi stuff, and it doesn't make sense to me. None of it does. And when you have a guy, you know, his alibi is that he was with his friend and roommate playing games and they fell asleep, blah, blah, blah. And then that roommate covers him. To me, that is not a good alibi, especially when he was at the bar, you know, an hour and a half before. It just doesn't, why he didn't answer the phone. Why he didn't answer the phone. Why he didn't answer the phone. So, I mean, like I've said forever, it's so simple. Some of it is so simple. Oh boy, I tell you what, I don't know. This case can drive a person nuts, man. That's for sure. Anyway, I suppose it's about that time. I love you guys all, and I hope you have a awesome Friday night, and a little bit shorter Friday night. I'm just tired. I'm tired. Been a long couple of days over here, so yeah. But I'm gonna send off with some good music, and I hope you guys, if you want to rewatch this on and I love you replay crew, the replay crew. You guys are awesome. You all are awesome people, and yeah, I love you all. And my subs, you're my rock, and my mods, thank you very much for everything. You are my soul. And until next time, rock and roll.
Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. Oh, staring at the mirror when I'm straight down, staring at this yellow-haired girl. Mr. Jones strikes up a conversation with a black hair. The man cold dance, you know she dances while his father plays guitar. She's suddenly beautiful, and we all want something beautiful. Man, I wish I was beautiful. So come dance the silence down through the morning. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la, yeah. Oh, yeah. Cara Maria, show me some Spanish dancing. Pass me a bottle, Mr. Jones. Believe in me, help me believe in anything.
starts climbing up on the name. Because we all in the school gym locker with another that was looking at me. I was in high school, loser, never met with a lady till the boy told me something I missed. When the next door neighbor with a daughter had a feeling, so I gave it just a little kiss. Like